Oh, you hear the buzz? Yeah, might be me.
Right, right. Well, now,
All right. We can hold our mics. There's nothing wrong with that. All right. So it's still buzzing. Well, I don't know what causes it, so sorry, everyone. Take a breath. You know what? I'll keep talking even though they're trying to fix it, so no sense in holding up the whole service. So we can stand a little buzzing, right? It's just that great energy of God coming through. Okay, so I was introducing myself, and over there on the soundboard and playing for us today is Jeremy Brown and his wife Amy Brown. Yay. We're happy, always excited to welcome them back. And Michael and Carrie are off island. And thank you, thank you, thank you for being here with us today. I always look forward to hearing them sing. Let's see, what else do I want to tell you? I'm back. I've been away, so I'll tell you more about that later. But in the meantime, I'm going to invite Michelle up. Michelle LeMay is a board member and also in charge of our events, and she is going to give us our announcements.
Morning, everyone. Oh, did it go down? The buzzing? No? Yes? Okay, well, I'm going to keep going because I have a lot to get through and we have a lot of activities, especially this week. We pretty much have something almost every day, starting with just after service. The women will be meeting here after we have our little social time. We're going to have our Women in Consciousness meeting. And then the men are going to meet across the street out by the ocean for the men's treehouse, the men's mindful treehouse. So that's going to happen today directly after service. And then tomorrow is when Reverend Rita is meant to start her spiritual boot camp, which is based on James Mellon's book, Mental Muscle. Now, this is an 8-week commitment, twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays. Last week I did misspeak. It's at Kaua'i Beach, and that's going to be in the mornings from 8 to 9:30. Now, today is the absolute last time to sign up for this. So if you've been wavering and you've been considering it and thinking about it, now's the time to make a commitment, because as of right now, there's not enough folks for them to have a group to do it. So if you are wanting to do that, please sign up for that today. Otherwise, it will be postponed until the springtime. And then on Tuesdays, the Reverends have started the Getting to Know You series, and this is appointments that you can set with Reverends Rita and Patrick for you to get to know them and for them to get to know you. As you know, there's such a crowd here on Sundays that it's challenging for them to get to everybody, and they want to open the opportunity to meet you and get to know you. So that'll be from 11 to 2 on Tuesdays, and they are by appointment. So there is a clipboard that has the different timings there for you if you are interested in coming in on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we have 2 different events. You may have seen, and you may know, or not, that there is this monthly book, the Center for the Science of Mind book, and it has the daily readings and articles. Well, every month on the last Wednesday, Anna Myers, who is a member who lives up in Princeville, does the spiritual living circles, and she gets together at 3 o'clock at her home, and they take an article out of the Science of Mind magazine and then just have a friendly discussion. It's just a way to share more about the teachings and putting it into our life, because it is a practical philosophy. We learn it here and then we use it in our lives. So that's Wednesday at 3 in Princeville. I believe her information's on the pamphlet, so you can get directions and find out where she lives up in Princeville. And then that evening is the continuation of the classes that Reverend Patrick and Rita have been doing. The Change Your Life, also based on another book, How to Change Your Life. It's been an ongoing class. And this week, they're going to be talking about abundance. So the 7 pillars of prosperity and abundance, and how we change our consciousness around money and earning and just receiving. So that's going to be this Wednesday from 6 to 8. And the price for that, it's $15 for people who are members who come, and then $17 for those who are not members. And we do make a distinction, and I'm going to take a moment to do that now. because if you have filled out one of these forms, it just makes it official, like in the literally, like in the documented way. If you have filled one of these out, you are considered to be a member, and you've been brought up front, you've been recognized, and you've been welcomed into the center. If you have not, all that means is that you haven't filled out the paperwork yet. Doesn't mean anything less in your commitment to yourself or to the center, but it is a way for the center to continue to grow, and it's something that we actually need to document as a center, and especially where we're a new center, the more members that we have, it just grows, and it's something that we encourage all of you to do. Again, it's just making that commitment to yourself, and that way we can recognize you as well, and you get a discount in the classes. So, something to consider. I know. And you don't even need to live on island or live here full time to be a member. We have lots of members who have come to visit, or members that are off island. So again, it's just making that conscious decision to be a part. And so that was wrapping up Wednesday night. And then on Friday and Saturday, we have part of what we call our Interfaith series. We have Bodhi B, who's going to be here from Maui, a part of the Sufi community. And he has a twofold event that actually stands alone, or you can do both. So Friday night is from 6:30 to 9, and it's called Shifting Paradigms. And it's all about transitioning into death. Now, as we know in this philosophy, our spirit actually doesn't die. And we're also human. So we need to know these things to get ourselves ready, to also help others, and then also to the practical side of it. So he will touch on a lot of different topics. Friday night is $20, and then there's the all-day workshop on Saturday, which is $75. And they will be different topics that will be covered on both nights. So that's why they stand alone within themselves, or you can combine them and come for both. And Bodhi B is a great teacher. He owns a business in Maui called Doorway to Light, where this is his work, this is his passion, and this is his medicine that he comes to share with everybody. So it's really powerful. He did it last year as well at another location, and I know I received a lot out of it, and it brought a lot of comfort for me to know, just to know. So come join us for that, and that'll be Friday and Saturday. And then on Monday, Michael and Carrie, it's literally almost every day, Michael and Carrie will be doing a spiritual sound healing service here in the evening from 7 to 9. And that's going to be $15 for members, $20 for non-members. And what this is this is their medicine. Music is their medicine. And they share it with flutes and Tibetan bowls and their voices and guitar and piano. And then it has other mystical sounds, which I interpret as that's pretty much Carrie. Because when she starts to sing, it's pretty mystical, and it's like a bunch of angels are coming out. So that'll be Monday evening. And that pretty much wraps up February. We have so much going on in March. It's really hard to start to promote a lot of that with so much happening this week. But the one I would like to expand upon is our mini fundraiser that we'll be doing on Sunday the 6th. It's going to be at 1 o'clock here at the center. We're doing a live stream of Reverend James Mellon. He's been doing a one-man play. Some of you might have been seeing this, and it's called Sissy Boy. So we're actually going to be live streaming it here. It's going to be his last performance, and we're going to be watching it at the same time as the center in Toronto. So that's our sister center, for those of you who know that. And it's going to be $20 to come. It's a donation. It is definitely a way to help support the center, support James, and also to have more of like a social interaction. And the play itself is based on his life. So you'll get to hear the fascinating life from James being a Catholic altar boy, to being a stripper with Chippendales, to being a father. It's adult content. Have I mentioned that part? It's adult content. To being a dad, to surviving cancer, to coming out as being gay, to coming and becoming a reverend. So it's an amazing life story. So we can all laugh and cry and celebrate this man's journey. So that'll be on Sunday, March 6th at 1 o'clock, and that'll be right here at the center. Now, in March, we're also going to have 3 other workshops. One is going to be with Reverends Patrick and Rita. We're also going to have Paul, if you raise your hand, and then Petra. 2 members are going to be doing workshops in March, and we'll definitely expand upon that and have flyers and lots of information as we kind of finalize February and get into March. Well, thank you for your kind attention and enjoy your service.
Thank you.
A lot going on. And I got to see Sissy Boy when I was in LA, and it's amazing. I mean, I can't say anything bad about this show. It's just amazing. But it is adult content, so I wouldn't bring any children. But it's good for anyone who's going through any kind of wanting to come into their own. It's not about being gay. It's about just coming into your own and being your authentic self. So he just happens to be gay. But yeah, it's great. We'll have a lot of fun. So all that being said, thank you so much, Michelle. And I failed to introduce another person because I don't know if you all have met her yet. I know Patrick introduced her a couple of weeks ago, but Reverend Diane Decker is, yeah, you stand up. She she is our staff minister here now, and she's with us. She's part of our family, and her partner Sue Buckley is here. They moved to Kauai, and we're really grateful to have her with us. So it's really cool. It's good. So with that being said, let's just take a moment to
Light
light
the
our
peace.
peace candle. I feel like I'm settling back into Kauai.
It's okay. So for all of you that did not know she existed the last 2 weeks, there is a Reverend Rita, and she is real.
So we light our peace candle every single Sunday just to remind ourselves that right within us is where peace begins. Nowhere else, right within us. And in lieu of more events in the world of form, where peace may seem not to be present, let us just remember that today. Remember that peace starts right here, and the more we embody that peace, the more we bring that peace into our lives, the more we are influencing our planet. So thank you, Patrick. And so let's just take a deep breath. And honor that space within us. Go within, right here and right now, knowing that right where we are, that presence and power and light and energy is, no matter what's going on in our life, that's the truth of who we are. And there was a great mystic and healer. She was also called the teacher of teachers. Her name was Emma Curtis Hopkins. And she wrote this, and I'm just going to give it to you as a seed thought to take into your meditation should you care to, and it is this. If you can set the red blood coloring your face by a thought, you can also straighten your crooked bones by your thought. If you can set the red blood coloring your face by a thought, you can also straighten your crooked bones by your thought. Enjoy your time. So, if you can set the red blood coloring your face by a thought, you can also straighten your crooked bones by your thought. I recognize right here and right now, as we commune together in this moment, this present moment, I recognize that there is one power, one energy, one source that is so perfectly expressing itself through each and every person here, through each and every mind here, each and every heart here. That one power, that one source that is everywhere present in all its totality. We are an ocean in a drop. That is what we are. And I know that we bring that highest place in ourselves here today to share and commune together in this service, to enjoy community, to hear the message, to listen to the music, to converse with one another. And I know we each get exactly what it is we came for. Something divine is happening right here and right now for each of us, and it's perfect. So I give thanks in advance for this amazing unfoldment of this service, for every single solitary moment, knowing that it is unfolding perfectly. As I just am so, so grateful, as I release this word, as I release it as law, into law, as we say together, and so it is. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Aloha. Wow. It's a good day. It's a good day. Yes, yeah, let it. Hey, there you go.
All right, so first of all, if you're here for the first time and maybe you don't totally know what the science of mind and spirit is, I always like to say a little bit about it as we start service. And just to let you know that you're in a loving place, in a place of community, and in a place where we believe that the divine expresses through each and every one of us in all its totality. Like I said in my prayer, we are the ocean in a drop. There's not a spot where God is not that omnipresence, and that's who we are. And so we celebrate that and just do our best to live our life from that highest place, to remember it every day as we go out into the world, not just here when we're all together and it feels really good, but to actually take it into our life and remember that as we greet each person and as we think of ourselves, because as Patrick said in his talk last Sunday, we have to have that love for ourselves first before we can even put it out there into the world, right? So we come here to remember that every Sunday, and it's a beautiful teaching and a beautiful philosophy, and welcome.
Yes.
Welcome.
And so speaking of last week, did everybody take some time this week to fall in love with yourself? Yes, it's absolute. Yeah, we don't end with Valentine's, by the way. We just keep loving ourselves moment to moment to moment to moment. Now, who is here for the very first time? Please raise your hand. There you go. There you go. It's okay. There's no test. We'll be okay. Oh yes. So, since you're here, we just wanted to tell you a few things we found out about you before you came. And the list is right here, along with names. Kidding. You guys go, does he ever get tired of that line? No, pretty much no. But we do know something about you, and we're going to all share it. Okay, shall we? You are magnificent. You're magnificent, but then you knew that, right? Yeah. And the reason we found that out about you is because not only last week on Valentine's Day, but we found out that about ourselves as well. So shall we? I am magnificent. One more time. I am magnificent. Now look to your left or right, somebody by you, and let them know who they are. Yeah. You are magnificent. You are magnificent. You are magnificent. All righty. That's always so much. Look at all that joy that's just pouring out of you right now. So speaking of joy, we have a joy to have our wonderful Amy and Jeremy here today. The prodigal son and daughter have returned. And we have what? Open arms for them doing that. So we're going to open, so if everybody would stand if it feels good.
And the words are in your program.
And the words are in the program.
So excited to sing these songs. Harry and Michael.
Welcome back.
Mahalo. Right. You guys ready? Voices all warmed up?
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
Oh, yeah.
You guys can put your hands together if you like. Here we go. Let it go on the mountain. Let it sing on the mountain. Let it ring on the mountain. Now is the time to let yourself shine. Let it go on the mountain. Let it sing on the mountain. Let it ring on the mountain. Now is the time to let yourself shine. Here we go. On your heart, make a brand new start. See the world with clearer eyes. No turning back, surprise, surprise. Remove the disguise. It's my life. It's my life. It's my life. So let it go on the mountain. Let it sing on the mountain. Let it ring on the mountain. Now is the time to let yourself shine. Let it go on the mountain. Let it sing on the mountain. Let it ring on the mountain. Now is the time to let yourself shine.
So what I know right here and right now is we are on the mountain. How could we not be? We are the presence of power and life and energy and source of all. And I know that source, that power is moving through us right here and right now. No matter what is happening in our life, that power is who we are, and we're up for anything. So I am so grateful for this time together today to live this life, to live in this wonderful community, to have this time together. And it is blessed, and it is a divine appointment. And I just let go and let it be, and just let Spirit move through me and through everyone here as we say together. And
So it is.
Let it go on the mountain. Let it sing on the mountain. Let it ring on the mountain. Now is the time to let yourself shine. Let it go on the mountain. Let it sing on the mountain. Let it ring on the mountain. Now is the time to let yourself shine.
Uh-oh. Is everybody
I'll
climbing?
make a brand new start. See the world with clearer eyes. No turning back. Surprise, surprise. Remove the disguise. It's my life. It's my life. It's my life. So let it go on the mountain. Let it sing on the mountain. Let it ring on the mountain. Now is the time to let yourself shine. Let it go on the mountain. Let it sing on the mountain. Let it ring on the mountain. Now is the time to let yourself shine. Let it go on the mountain. Let it ring on the mountain. Let it ring on the mountain. Now is the time to let yourself shine.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for honoring Michael and Carrie's song. Thank you so much. And thank you, Michael and Carrie, for writing that. We have definitely talented music people surrounding us all over the place. I love all the original music. So it's great. What are you loving it?
We're just so happy.
Oh, so glad. You're happy because I'm back, right? All right, so the next wonderful moment we have here is with a wonderfully special, amazing person who I got to share the sacred journey with, and that's Sue Buckley, who is Reverend Diane's partner. And she's going to share with us her journey to Kauai and something special that she manifested by using this principle and by being the wonderful, amazing light that she is. So I'm just going to invite her up here to just tell us.
will be singing on the mountain. But now I'm going to bring you all down. I'm learning that. Let me know if I'm close enough to the mic. Good morning. Mahalo to Reverend Rita and Patrick for asking me to share my story in the light. I've been asked to talk about how our new home in Kauai manifested itself. Now, did I manifest it? Did Spirit manifest it? It's all the same. Yeah. So whatever words I use, it all means the same thing to me. Some of you may know that Reverend Diane and I just moved here 19 days ago. I feel like we've been here for 19 years. I am so comfortable here. I'm so at home. So here's the timeline that led me to today. In May 2015, I decided to retire at the end of the year. We had planned to move to Kauai in the next 3, 4, 5 years, but my job kind of went downhill. Like literally, there was a landslide. Literally. And everything about my job went downhill after that. It was kind of symbolic. So I decided December, I'm out of there, which accelerated our trip to Kauai. And here we are. So I love that landslide. Nobody got hurt. It's all good. I lost my shop where I used to work, but it's just a place, right? Yeah. So we decided that we would move sometime in February or March of this year. So we started looking in earnest on Craigslist for jobs and a home. Gotta have a job, gotta have a home. These are like critical, bottom of the Maslow, hierarchy things. Right? I applied for many jobs, many where I was qualified, overqualified, underqualified. I thought I was still going to be a gardener, which was my job in my past life, or my previous incarnation in Northern California. I'm also studying to be a preschool teacher, so I was on the fence of like, gardener, preschool, children, plants, where do I go? I'm applying for anything, right? I'm like Home Depot, McDonald's, Burger King, something. And I was trying really hard to gain employment and find us a home. Well, things happened during the year. In early October, I was called to fly back east to visit my mom. She decided that she was going to stop eating for about a week or two. And we knew that she was getting close. And so I flew back, and I was able to be present with my siblings as my mother transitioned. That was huge, as many of you know. As soon as I got back to Northern California, I gave notice at my job. I said, I'm done. And now it's like counting the days till we moved to Kauai. The months, the weeks, the hours, the minutes. I had a chart in my office. When can we go? But we need jobs and a home. Oh well, it'll come. So by December, we decided we'd book our one-way flights to Kauai, leaving February 2nd. Our house in California was in escrow. We had jumped through all the hoops to get our 2 cats here without having to quarantine them. We sold most of our stuff, and we figured out how to ship the rest. We were ready to move. Well, we had a small problem. We had no address. I thought we couldn't just land here with suitcases and 2 cats and hope someone would take us in and say, Aloha, Kauai, here we are. Finding a job without a local address just wasn't happening either. So I made a decision to fly out here in January for 2 weeks. Coincidentally, it's hard to do air quotes when you're holding paper. I'm going to do a 1 air quote. Coincidentally, there had been a cancellation. There we go. Coincidentally, there had been a cancellation in CSL Kauai's Sacred Journey of the Heart. So I booked my flight, I signed up for the journey, I cobbled together 3 different places to stay and headed across the Pacific. Honestly, the Journey of the Heart was not my primary goal. It just worked out that way. I thought it would be good to do some healing after a very, very difficult year. My intention, no, my mission, was to return with a lease and possibly a job. Well, the Sacred Journey was amazing. I met the most wonderful group of people. My broken heart burst open, and I began to trust again. First, I had to deal with an interesting health challenge. The Sacred Journey had begun on January 6th. When I arrived on the island, I had a skin condition, a terrible outbreak of eczema all over my face and my arms and my hands. And if you've ever had eczema or any kind of itching, it's horrible. It's basically hell. So by Monday the 11th, I decided I needed some help. My skin condition was getting worse and worse. And I thought metaphorically, it's as if I had to shed my old skin for new, and the process happened to be very painful. Also, I was getting stressed out about finding us a home. I was feeling frustrated. I had one dead end after another. I looked at a lot of places that wanted a lot of money for a very dubious living situation. I was feeling frustrated, and I felt a sense of failure. I had come on this mission. I owed it to Diane to find us a home. So here it is, Tuesday the 12th. The last day of the journey was the next day. My trip was coming to an end in less than a week, and I still had no real leads on a rental home. My partner Diane said to me, "Don't worry, the perfect landlord is looking for us at the very same moment." Whoa, a different perspective. Reverend Rita also reminded me not to settle for anything less than what I wanted. Excellent advice. The morning of the last day of the journey, right after the closing ceremony, I received a phone message from a landlady. I had responded to an ad on Craigslist with a letter, and she said she really liked my letter and wanted me to see her place. After talking for just a few minutes, she said to me, "I'm not going to show it to anyone else until you decide if you want it." She described it to me. It sounded perfect. So I got the address. I drove up. It's at the very top of the hill on Kaua'i, by the Hindu temple. It's gorgeous up there. And I could see the outside, but she said, "Please don't disturb the tenant." I really wanted to disturb the tenant. So, after an interminable waiting period of 4 days, the current tenant called and said I could look at it. I walked inside. Yes, I said yes. We would love to rent this place. Everything that has happened after that moment has been perfectly in the flow. We are now mostly unpacked, enjoying our home on a street named Aina Loli, which translates into sacred land. We are blessed, and I live every day in gratitude. And my skin condition cleared up. Who knew? Mahalo.
Wow. Yeah, it's all about hello. It's all about trusting, yeah? Yeah. It's about allowing that finally to just say yes. Let life move through you as you. And it's just been such a journey, and welcome to both of you here in this family and on this island. And we love our other family over here too. Do you have something special for us today, I bet? Amy and Jeremy.
All right, I got to tune up. For the meditation music was my first public performance of a slack key song. Well, it was just sort of like free flow. Thank you. And we're gonna do a number that our hula teacher taught us, and she wrote this mele. Her name is Puna Kalamadasan. And she wrote this mele for her students, which we are her students, along with many others. And she wrote it about the different essences that each person has, and like we all have in life, our own essence. And she just was appreciating the beauty of all of her students and their essence as they danced near the shore on a hula. So this song mentions the mountain Kalalea, which you see here in Anahola. Kahinan, Ikalewa Kamamoa me maile Kuia kale Hele ilua Ikanani Ame kamahi Pula mai ang kahinano E kupa e o nauna Ikamalu o halahe E kuhalahe E kuhalahe O vilia e o hanano Me kalehua Kamamua me maile Kuia kale Hele ilua Ikanani Ame kamahi Pula maia kahinano He kupa he o nauna Ikamalu o kalale E kuhalae E kuhalae E kuhalae
What are other people doing on Sunday morning? I want to ask. There we go. Welcome back, Rita.
Thank you. Thank you. What a welcome home present. That was so beautiful. My favorite thing is always just to listen to Jeremy sing while Amy dances. It's so romantic and so beautiful and so alive. It's just amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, the subject today is divine intervention. Yeah. And I want to start with a quote by Ernest Holmes. You cannot heal anyone of his trouble if it is the result of some mental attitude which he will not surrender. Uncover the false ideas of life and replace them with the truth. Uncover the false ideas of life and replace them with the truth. So I consider myself pretty well versed in the science. I consider myself one that practices it and does her best to practice it and does her best to live it and be, the best with it and grow with it. Because I believe that when we say that we're open at the top, meaning not that we're just going here or there everywhere, but we're actually open to receive more and more inspiration and more divine intuition and letting Spirit to just pour through us and be open to new ideas and new things coming through. Sometimes it's said that we either are living by memories or living by inspiration. That makes sense, right? And a lot of the times we're living by memories, a lot of the time. And we can't really clear ourselves to live by inspiration until we kind of not get rid of the memories, but let them go and reframe them in our minds. So you cannot heal anyone of his trouble if it's the result of a mental attitude which you will not surrender. So sometimes I think we have to surrender our memories in order to live a new life. So I was looking up what intervention meant. What does it mean? So I looked up the typical intervention that you do with somebody when you want to intervene, somebody that has a drug problem or something like that, and everybody goes in to try to help that person. And we know that we can't help anybody if they're not willing to surrender whatever it is, right? Exactly, right? So all we can do is stand by and love. But I kind of took this thought about intervention and just found the spiritual metaphor for it, for us. So when I was in LA, not in LA, when I was in LA, everybody took care of me. I didn't have to worry about anything. But when I went to New Mexico, I was kind of on my own. And I lived there for like over 25 years. I lived in New Mexico, Albuquerque. And, oh, wow. Okay, we'll have to talk later. Yeah, so I thought, you think you don't forget things, right? But anybody, in fact, Sola mentioned it to me in class. Sola, she said, Rita, but you were saying you were going to get lost the whole time before you left, that you didn't. So I spent a lot of my time getting lost, using my GPS, on my phone, or is it called GPS? Whatever it's called. Using that, and her sending me to dead ends and things, and my little granddaughter in the back of the car going, Granny, this doesn't look familiar. Anyway, so it came to a point where I didn't want to surrender that thought, I guess. I thought I had, and I would do my treatments and stuff, but you know what? That's that thing when there's something underneath that's still playing its little game out with you, and you think you're treating or praying and allowing spirit to move through you, but in reality, you're still telling yourself the old thing. So I wasn't able to let go of that thing that I'm directionally challenged, I guess was my thing, my subconscious thing. So finally, the last day, I'm going back to the airport. Oh, thank God, I'm going to get rid of this car, and I'm not going to have to drive myself around anymore. I'll get to LA, they'll pick me up, and I'll feel really good. I could not find my way to the car rental place. The GPS sent me to a back alley. Your destination is on your right, and I'm looking at a dead end with a dirt, New Mexico dirt road, and I'm like, no, my destination is not on my right. So am I treating? Yes, I'm treating, but then I'm still holding on to that mental attitude that, I get lost. I'm holding on to that. Now, I'm giving you just a little example. We can think of bigger examples in our life where we do this. So this is a great little example. And I was safe in the car, right? So finally, I'm like, okay, I can't find my way. I tried again, but I kept telling myself, this doesn't look familiar. And every time my intuition would tell me to turn a different way, I went the way that Melissa, who I call my GPS, told me to go. Right? How many times do we do that? We know the right thing, right? But we listen to what everybody else says, right? So anyway, so finally I found myself again at the Crown Royal Hotel or something, saying my destination was on my right. So yes? Ooh, angels, give me no wings. Anyway, so I'm standing there and I go, okay, I'm going to call the car place. So I end up in India somewhere with some guy telling me he doesn't know Albuquerque, and I'm like, all right, so I'm like in the car going, I cannot believe this, I'm not gonna, at least I left early. And then finally, I get somebody on the phone that gives me directions. And what does he do? He gives me the wrong directions. I'm on the Albuquerque Freeway 40, and I'm still going, this does not look familiar, this does not look like the way to the airport. Then finally, what do? I surrendered. And I just said, you know what? I do know the way. I don't know why it took me that long to do it, but it took me that long, like in excess of an hour, to finally say, you know what, Rita, you do know the way. You don't need to listen to Melissa. You don't need to listen to the guy's directions. You know this is not the way, turn off. Just drive. And as soon as I did that, there was the airport. There was the car return. And I was safe. But I think about it like how many times in life, divine intervention, do we wait for it in the last minute instead of like from the very beginning? What are we holding on to that's keeping us from doing that? That was just, like I said, a little thing about me getting lost, but it's huge, and it teaches me a lesson. I'm always like learning lessons still, at this age I'm still learning lessons, and I'll continue to learn lessons until I don't need to learn more. But one of the biggest things I learned from this was about surrender and trust. So when you do an intervention, everybody gets together, right? And they consult a professional. Well, the professional I need to consult, that we need to consult, is that inner spirit within us, that God self that we are, that knows everything. It knows everything. It knows the way everywhere. It knows everything. It knows more than a GPS could ever know. It knows it all. It created the GPS. It knows it all.
That was
And then we form a team with that, like in steps 1 and 2 of treatment, which is, God is all there is, and I am that. I am that thing that is all there is. We form a team. There's our team. Then we find the right treatment plan. Well, the right treatment plan is going to be divine intuition. Divine intuition is always the right treatment plan. It's always going to take us where we need to go if we'll open up and surrender to it. And then there's another thing about consequences. There's consequences, and you're gonna follow those consequences with whoever the person is. Well, there's consequences to following divine intuition too. And I learned those. You have to let go of fear and doubt, which I had a lot of that day. You have to let go of fear and doubt and replace it with faith and trust. And then everything just opens up. It's crazy. It was a crazy journey, but I'm so glad to be home. And for anybody that goes off island, when you, I don't know, maybe everybody doesn't feel this way, but when you step off the plane, somebody said it to me, it was David or somebody today, and you just smell the Kauai air, and you go, oh my God, and you just plant your feet, and go, I'm home. You take it with you, but it's interesting when you go out into the world how you can still forget. You have to keep it with you, and we do have a support system. It's that GPS within us, the divine guidance within us, that keeps us safe, that keeps us going, that keeps us on the right track. So, hey, sometimes we falter a little, but it's okay. We just get back on. I could have beat myself up a lot, going, you know better than this. Why are you, how we do? That doesn't do us any good. The best thing we can do, as Patrick talked about last week, is to love ourselves deeply, and respect ourselves, and cherish ourselves, and give to ourselves in any way that we can. So I'm grateful to be home, so grateful. Grateful for all of you, just grateful, 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 grateful. So blessings and aloha, namaste. I will turn the time over to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
She's no longer directionally challenged by the way.
No longer, I've given it up.
So I actually love this whole idea of the divine intervention, and I realized in the process that it's kind of a dualistic thing. Because for me, if I'm waiting for the divine to come into play in my life, what happens if it doesn't show up? Have you ever felt that? Have you ever felt like, ooh? And I was raised, and it's never about recovering Catholic, I was raised as a Catholic, and I did me some praying as a kid. I did some heavy-duty praying and begging and a lot of stuff. Not because they told me to necessarily, but that's what I thought divine intervention was. I thought it was if I prayed hard enough that perhaps the divine would come here for me and help me with whatever problem it was at the time. So I read this the other day, and I thought, after last week, after that love affair, right? Having an affair all week with self, I thought, what could be more this week, right? But I read this from Ernest Holmes, and I'm going to share it with you as well. I am in the midst of you is mighty to heal, to comfort, and to prosper. The I am in you. I have come to arouse you from your long dream of separation, from your night of despair. The dawn has come. The truth rises over the horizon of ignorance. The light dissipates the darkness. The morning dew is upon the petals. They glisten in the sun. Awake, awake. Become aware of my presence, for I am life. I am not something apart from your being. I am your being. Ernest Holmes. And what I felt after, especially last week, because I didn't want to give up all that intimacy, and obviously I'm reading this, and it felt so intimate. To a level, again, because last week, as you remember, I had opened up so much to fall in love with me, to wonder why anyone would date me, marry me, love me. because of this intimacy of getting to know self as the self. And this is what some of the definitions of the divine intervention, this is what they say. Divine intervention is a term for a miracle caused by a deity's supposed active involvement in the human world. Well, I just lost my warm and fuzzy there, you know. But and Webster tells us that a miracle. How many of you believe in miracles? Yeah. They say a miracle is an unusual, wonderful event that is believed to be caused by the power of God. Or that a miracle is, which I warm up to a little bit better than a separate deity, because just in case you haven't noticed, we do not, in this center, there is no dualism. This is an I am center. There is no dualism. And if there is, it doesn't mean that we don't feel it sometimes, but we go right back to the I am. The I am. So, back to the definition. God is a miracle, but this one I really like. It says, unusual or a wonderful event that is believed to happen, or that a miracle is this, is a divinely natural phenomenon experienced humanly as the fulfillment of spiritual law. Yes. Now, doesn't that sound like something you could get into bed with? I mean, just think about it. Because what happened, I saw all your faces, that's great, right? It was like, yeah, that's what it is, that's what it is. There's a spiritual law. Wow. I am, as I said before, I am the Savior and the saved. Blasphemy that I am in this moment. And I can say that because when you get to the point of intimacy in its deepest, wondrous form, that you can intervene anywhere. What happens when you find out the truth? That the miracle that you have been looking for is right where you are. I am this miracle. Everything about me is a miracle. Wow. Someone said yesterday about God, that God, her God is current. Absolutely. I don't have a God of yesteryear. I don't have that. I have a God that is present right here where I am, looking at you, expressing from you. That divine intervention that I do not have to ever pray harder, because I am the prayer. I am the prayer. And what I know about me is that I am teaching, as Rita said, we are learning together. Because we forgot. Awake. Awake from the dream. Awake from that part that says anything less than I am perfect. I am loved. I am lover and the loved. Wow. Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, let me tell you about, last week they talked about get your bloated nothingness out of the way of the divine current. And everybody's like, bloated nothingness, wow, I've never heard that before. Bloated nothingness. Well, that sounds kind of like derogatory and all this stuff with words. I'll tell you what the bloated nothingness is. Exactly the nothingness, because you're the somethingness. And right here we have a divine current that's running through and as everything. Right now we are not separate, even though it looks it. Oh yeah, I'm looking at you, you're looking at me. Separate? No. There's a divine current that is running through and as each and every one of us, and that is the divine current that makes God current. God is current. So this is what I wrote. This is what I wrote at the end of my intimacy of last week, and I'll share it with you. This is what I felt after all of this. I wrote, I am a mighty healer. I am no longer locked in ignorance. I can see and feel clearly. Have you ever felt clearly? I am pure poetry. in every cell of my being. The dark night of the soul has become, and really hear this, has become an option, not a life sentence. My being feels calm and certain that I am whole and complete just the way I am. Nothing to be fixed, nothing to be changed, only to be recognized. I feel almost speechless, which is something for me, by the way. I feel almost speechless. And yet the I am that I am speaks clearly from the depths of my being with a gentle whisper of truth. I am the miracle I have been seeking, and I am the divine intervention that I have been calling for. I am here. I am here. Can we say it together? I am here. I love you. Namaste.
Devoted nothingness. That's what was behind that wheel.
I can't find my way. I can't find my way anywhere. Bloated nothingness. Great example.
Yep. So true. So this is our time of affirmative giving, our time to give back and to practice the law of circulation, giving and receiving. And there is a affirmation in your program, and it goes like this, if you repeat it with me. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I give freely today, knowing it returns to me abundantly. Thank you very much, everyone. Aloha. We got a song, I think.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My life. Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life. Glorious, glorious, this glorious, this glorious life. This glorious, this glorious, this glorious life. For my health. Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for it's my health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. Thank you for my wealth, Spirit. Thank you for my wealth. Thank you for my wealth, Spirit. Thank you for my wealth. Opulent, my opulent, my opulent, my opulent wealth. My opulent, my opulent, my opulent wealth. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day.
Yes, and what I know is I am in such gratitude. It is pouring through and as me, and for each and every one of us in this room, that each and every one of us is this thing called abundance, this thing called prosperity, this thing called giving, receiving. It's all just one thing. So I just bless it. I know it. I give such gratitude for it. As together we say with a full heart of gratitude. And so it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So we have some thank yous.
You bet. Hey, Loya. How are you? Good to see you. That was kind of a side note to the thank yous. That was so announcements today. Michelle LeMay. I told her if I don't start at the top and work my way down, then I sometimes forget. So yes, and then we have who's on the door? Our wonderful Katie. And Katie, stand up for a second, because people, if you're wanting to be greeters at the door, just contact her. She's doing the whole month of March. Kaua'i. Well, our new greeter today, yes, and Roseanne, for all the wonderful things you do on those programs that get delivered every week to us. And Rob, you're live streaming back there, letting the whole world know what we're doing. It's no longer what stays in Kauai stays in Kauai. Everybody knows now. Everybody knows.
And Michael was watching. He said it sounded really good.
Oh, good. And then we have Marco on the camera back here. And Steve Buckley, who took us on our little journey in the light today. And all I know is Stephanie will be at the bookstore, yes? Yes, she will. And I just say mahalo, mahalo for all you do. We're just not in the bookstore, but just for being you, girl. All the way, all the way. And Ron Stover is not here today, but I do want to mention him, that he does a lot of stuff around here with setup and for the food and all that, and I never get a chance to really thank him, and so he's not here today, so I really didn't get a chance to do that either. But if he is watching the live stream, he will be saying, okay, yeah, thank you. And look who's home, Jenny. Yes, and I want to thank you, Rita, for everything. And I told him that when you left and then you came back, you were going to be coming back to more of Patrick because of my journey of self-love. Is this true?
Let me just say about the thing with the song.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God. I was sitting in the airport, and I was waiting for this thing that Michael and Carrie were supposed to do for Patrick for me, and I was like so excited to see how it was going to work out, and I had control over the whole thing, right? And then Patrick goes, I have, when he does this thing, and he sings that song. I was crying. I mean, how could I not cry, right? I was ticked. I was like, that's not fair. I had this surprise plan for him, but
we're learning a lot about you.
I had to get my bloated nothingness out of the way.
Yes, it was a beautiful. I sang her a love song last week on Day of Life.
It was the same love song I was going to have Michael and Carrie sing for him, in case you don't understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Oh well. Guess who? Next year. Okay, so and thank you to each and every one of you for not only being here, but for bringing in your consciousness. That's what just makes this room completely alive. So thank you so much. So we ready to wrap this up with a song?
Yeah.
All right.
Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now.
So when I know that this day of celebration is not coming to an end, it's just beginning. We are taking this love, this energy, this joy, and we are moving it through us and out into the street, into every single person that we meet, every thought that we have, every move that we make is that divine intervention from within and out. So I am so grateful as I look at each and every one of you, knowing that I am really looking back at me, and knowing that we are all just God meeting God in this music, in this celebration. And I just say yes, and my heart is just overflowing with absolute gratitude. As together we take that gratitude and we say, and so it is.
Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world
Namaste, everyone. I think there's some treats over there if you want to help yourself to that.